Happy holiday blackout, but through the end of the year at least, not just early December. Now that we've gotten that out the way, I saw this comment on one of my recent blackout posts, basically where this person was talking about that they were thinking about throwing a holiday bazaar in their community to help with the local and small businesses during the blackout. And that person was curious about my thoughts about it. I did respond in text form to that comment, but I thought that I would take this opportunity to kind of touch on something else that comment got me thinking about. So when I first started hearing about this mass blackout, and I saw some people making it a point to make local and small businesses the exception, to still support them during the blackout, I admittedly for a while was not pressed to kind of add that caveat myself, because I'm basically like, are we gonna do this or not? I was like, I feel like we really need to mainly focus on getting people out of the mindset of shopping in general, which might be a bit more difficult if we add all these extra clauses, like, well, except in this case and except in that case and that sort of thing. I'm like, go hard or go home. Are we doing this or not? But in reading this person's comment, it got me to thinking. It reminded me of this major fear I've had over the years of the big ass corporations out there getting so big and so rich that they eventually totally push out the businesses that are smaller than them. I mean, everyone smaller than them. Doesn't that sound terrifying? Like, imagine a world where we only have Amazon. Or we only have Walmart. Well, as everyone knows, or everyone who pays attention and is able to, pay attention knows, that's pretty much where we've long been headed. And bruh, how massively fucked up would it be if this mass blackout is what ends up being the final nail in the coffin needed for that to happen? Not for the big businesses, but for the little guys. Your mom and pop shops, your local family businesses, your local Black businesses, your various immigrant started businesses, the little ones trying to help and give back to the community, those businesses. Not on my watch. We can't let the small businesses suffer during this movement, especially and most importantly, because let's be real, if we don't get enough people on board for this, and considering how stupidly, insanely rich these large companies have long been, plus dumbass comments like this one, like these, of folks being dense and trying to intentionally sabotage what we got going on, aka happily digging their own graves, but I digress. Given all of that, there is a chance that these major companies will survive this, or at least for a good while, or, it doesn't entirely wipe them out. Let's put it that way. And certainly much more so than the small businesses who can, I'm sure, only take so much, especially in comparison. And just imagine if at the end of all this, and as a result of the mass blackout, those big businesses are all that's left standing. And we basically help them do it. So yeah, I'm not saying go crazy. I believe we still do need to learn to buy and consume less and not live so much in excess, especially here in America, in the US. But a little something here and there by each of us for the small businesses only, both online and off, I think is okay. And I think can and will go a long way. And a lot of people use the term small business, but rarely get specific with it. So I'm gonna get specific with it so people can remember and realize just how many different types of services and provider of products that can and does cover. You got grocery stores, restaurants, food trucks, clothing shops, hardware stores, movie theaters, coffee shops, hair salons and barber shops, different types of services for your kids or for your pets, like pet grooming or daycare services. You got bookstores and toy stores, novelty shops and florists, local art galleries, arts and crafts shops, dry cleaners and laundromats, auto repair or auto detailing. There's so many different types of small businesses out there, so many, often that we overlook. A lot of them provide the things we need, but also quite a few of them provide the things we want. And if you don't have any small businesses around you, or not very many, do what you can. Honestly, even be willing to drive a little further to one if you can. And remember, there's also online. Amazon.com and Walmart.com are not the only .coms out there when it comes to shopping. Just saying. So yes, I feel like during this time, it is okay and fair to occasionally patronize those businesses. And if all of us are doing it occasionally, none of us are, overspending unnecessarily so, but enough of us are doing it here and there that I feel like that should pretty reasonably cover them. I also think that helping those small businesses out here and there will additionally help us to more easily go the distance for this mass blackout. Basically, in leaving these whack ass, greedy ass, money guzzling major corporations alone. Hell, if we do that, we could go years. Just imagine. Oh, and one other important thing to note, which I hadn't even thought about, but I've seen this mentioned a couple times, and I'm like, yeah, that also makes sense. As much as possible, not using your credit cards or your bank cards, especially associated with like the major corporations, as much as you can. Cash as much as possible. If it's possible for you to transfer your personal money over to like a local bank, another type of small business, even better. And, you could use that more freely. But especially if your finances are, tied up in these major corporations, dealing with them, using your money or borrowed money or whatever as little as possible. That's also part of this, as well as reducing your paid subscriptions as much as possible, streaming services, shopping services, and otherwise. So that's it. Happy holiday blackout, everyone. And remember, not till just the beginning of December, through the end of the rest of the year, at least. We got this. Bye-bye.